This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. What's up? Just spent a fortune on this new camera. I hope you can see the difference in the quality. Really just want to step up this YouTube channel in terms of production quality, so I think this is a nice investment. I just hope it looks good. I hope you enjoyed my intro filmed on this little beast right here. This is the Flip Ultra. Check that out. Wow, that is innovative. There's a couple different exciting things that happened this week, so I thought I'd make a little bit more of a vlog style video, tell you about all those things, and I hope you enjoy. My week pretty much started in Jersey with a visit to my family, but I ended up bringing out my camera and I went out for some night shots. One of the first things I came across was this car that was parked perfectly under a street light, and I posted this on my Instagram story. It was just so lucky to have that car right under the street light and not have anything else in the way. I really like how dark the background of the pictures is, and it kind of has this nice cinematic vibe to it. It's not really what I'm usually going for, but this is a really fun picture. And I left my light meter at home in New York by accident, so I ended up guessing all of these exposures. Speaking of Jersey, one of the things that I got up to this week was finally starting to make a print portfolio out of all of the work that I've been making there. That project is at a point where I've been shooting for it for so long that I thought it was time to start printing a lot of the work. Just seeing all the work come together like this is so rewarding. Seeing all the prints, these are 11 by 14 prints on some luster paper. I just printed these on an inkjet Epson printer. Anyway, today's a pretty exciting day because I'm interviewing my friend Vicky Grout, who should be here any minute. We're doing a Photo Talks episode on her, so that should be really fun to film. She definitely was one of my earliest inspirations in portrait photography and just getting more serious with the work that I was making. So to be able to interview her today for Photo Talks is really fun, and that should be an exciting video.
I think my approach to taking portraits mainly is that I want to be able to get a part of them out in that image, you know, whether it's a bit of the personality or their character or something, which can be hard. Definitely a joint effort from both parties. You know, you definitely need to try and break down that barrier, you know, make them feel comfortable, but then at the same time, they need to be willing to let you do that. Which is cool.
We just wrapped up filming. I think that interview went super well, so look out for that video very soon. But I think while we have a little bit of time left, I'm gonna go out, take some pictures of Vicky on her Fuji medium format camera that she brought. It's a Fuji GA645, which is an autofocus medium format 645 camera, so that should be pretty fun. I'll try to vlog some of that.
You see sort of like the framing of the image, and then when you go to focus,
yeah,
kind of like the box like moves.
Yeah.
So it kind of like it's confusing as to what it's actually shooting, but every time I've shot with it, it's come out. But just for like when I don't want to be carrying a big ass fucking Pentax 6.7 around, it's nice to just have this as well.
Yeah. No, but they're the best.
It's true.
We went out to shoot those photos in probably some of the least ideal lighting conditions. It was super harsh afternoon light, which you know I don't prefer for portraits, but I think it did work out. I ended up setting that Fuji to a stop of overexposure on Portrait 400 so that I got a lot more shadow detail. A lot of people ask me, when I overexpose film, I don't tell the lab, I just let them develop it normally, so it stays overexposed and then you just get more shadow detail. So that's what I like to do when it's really harsh light, because it just brings out those shadows and makes them a little less intense. So it shoots 645, which means that you get 16 shots on a roll, which is pretty cool to begin with. But it also is autofocus and auto wind, so it feels a little more like a point and shoot. I definitely shot through that roll with Vicky pretty quickly because of that. Because you just treat it like a 35mm point and shoot and kind of blast off photos. I personally wouldn't pick one of these up, but I did really enjoy shooting with it. The last thing I want to talk about this week was the New York Art Book Fair, which happened this past weekend. It's an incredible book fair where all photo book and art book publishers come together and a bunch of independent people who publish zines and books. And it's one big fair, and I picked up a couple cool books from a publisher called AINT-BAD. My friend Dino recently published a book with them called Shaped by the West, and I think it's an incredible little book of American photography that he made, with the central narrative being his immigration into the US, and I think that really ties together all his work in a really unique way that I haven't really seen done before. He's also a graphic designer, so the design on the book is great, and the cover is inspired by a passport, which really just ties the whole story together, I think. The other book I picked up is called OK 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 by Mike Slack, and it's a collection of abstract Polaroids he made in the 90s, which I think are all super beautiful. They're very much focusing on primary colors, and I think his compositions are all really minimal but beautiful, and it just works really well in this little collection. If you do come across either of these books, I definitely recommend you pick one up. There's a couple exciting things coming up on the channel, which I'll talk about in a second, but this week I'm pretty excited to talk about a new sponsor on the channel, which is Storyblocks. Storyblocks is an incredible online library of stock footage that you can use for your next video project. Whether it's a YouTube video, a freelance job, or a commercial gig, Storyblocks has you covered with an incredible library of studio quality 4K footage that you can include copyright free in your next project. Storyblocks works on a monthly subscription model, which means you pay a small fee once a month for unlimited use of their stock footage rather than buying out expensive single-use rights to footage. Sometimes budgets are low, so instead of spending a ton of money getting that last time-lapse or drone shot to finish your project, why not give Storyblocks a try? You can click the link in my description to learn more about them. Big thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Like I said, they're a service I've used in the past, so I'm genuinely excited that they're sponsoring this video. In terms of what's coming up on the channel, obviously, as you saw from this video, there's a photo talks with Vicky Grout, which I'm super excited about. I'm also very committed to bringing my podcast back, which is C41 Podcast. I started this a while ago, made 4 episodes, and then it kind of took a break when I moved studios and things, but I'm working very hard to bring that back. I have the next episode recorded, and I'm gonna try to record a couple episodes more in advance before I release any, which I think will be a better way to make that a little bit more sustainable for myself and just make sure that I can consistently put out episodes of that podcast, because I really enjoyed having those conversations with some of my favorite photographers, and it's a nice way to go a little bit more in depth and talk about details of their work and what's coming up. It's just very exciting. And I personally really enjoy listening to podcasts myself as well. My favorite 2 right now have to be Magic Hour and A Small Voice Podcast. Both of those are worth checking out in the meantime.
I don't want to like capture anything that's like quote unquote like cliche. I really want there to be like emotion in the things that I photograph. And to me, that's the most important thing. I think if there's something real and something that's like tangible, that's my goal, you know? Whether that's kids on their bikes riding down 2nd Avenue, or if it's the guy who makes my sandwiches on the corner store. Like, I think that there's value in all those little things. And I honestly believe that that's kind of the whole story of New York. Is like New York runs itself on the so many cultures and the people that are in it and that occupy it. And so I struggle with photographing here too. Like I think that people could easily look at New York and say, man, there's so much stuff happening here. It must be so easy to shoot. But there's days where I'm like, bro, I need space. Like I don't want to photograph in here. It's like, it's tough because it's so much going on. How do you isolate the things that you want to capture?
Once those podcasts do get going again, I want to start incorporating them into the YouTube channel as well, which I think will be really fun and exciting. Thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I upload every Sunday at 11 a.m. and occasionally on Wednesdays like I did this past Wednesday. You can check out my Instagram in the description, which is @WillemVerb. That's it for now. Peace.